I am keeping it ugly and going with the New York Football Giants plus 5.5 at the Tennessee Titans. Look, we're going right from the Texans to the Falcons to the Giants. What did you expect when you came here for week one? But look, the Giants, I'm higher than them on the market. Like I played their win total over was one of my favorite overs, and I'm lower than the market on the Titans. One of my favorite win total unders was the Titans. So it's no surprise that I show a lot of value on the Giants in week one. And, we have a great product. We have Action Labs, and on our Action app, we show some of these systems, but this speaks to the kind of overreaction perception nature of the NFL. Road dogs in week one that were bad last season with a low total, which this game has 62% over the past 30 years. Teams that won between 0 and 6 games, total 45 or below. Just buying low on the perception, which I think this is where this is. This is mainly I am higher from a numbers perspective on the Giants, but I'm really low on this Titans team across the board. I think that questions on the offensive line, the wide receiver group is extremely poor, and that's really important here. We mentioned this on one of our preview pods that the Giants are going to have a major problem at their second corner spot all year. That's not that big of a concern this week against Tennessee. This is one of the weakest wide receiver rooms in the NFL, so they can get by here. The offensive line, which should be better for the Giants, also gets now they don't have to deal with Harold Landry, who led the Titans in sacks last year and is now out for the year. The offensive line should be better. Looks like the receivers are going to be relatively healthy. I don't know what's going to happen 3 plays into the game, but going into this. And I think the offense just in general, which I don't think the market is capturing, is going to be much more efficient with Daboll at the helm, from not just from a play calling perspective, from a decision-making perspective. There's also the unknown here with Daboll. What's some of the nuances and new looks that because it's going to look like there's going to be a lot of different RPO type looks and that the Titans are going to have no film on. So I think the Giants can say, all right, Wink Martindale is going to come at Ryan Tannehill, load the box, show a bunch of different looks because he loves to leave his corners on islands. This is the opponent that you're like one of the few opponents that you're like, okay, I can feel comfortable with the Giants doing that here. Let's focus on Henry, bring the blitz on third down. I think that this line is too high. I have this closer to a field goal. I extremely low on the Titans and much higher on the Giants. I mean, they're still a bad team, but much higher than the market on the Giants. I think that make this like 3.5. Yeah, I grabbed the 6, still take it at 5.5. I think the Giants are going to have a shot to pull off this outright upset on the road to kick off the year. Do you agree?
So I do, and I'll be joining you at some point. I'm hoping that maybe I catch a straight 6 at some point. I doubt we're going to get there. It's probably going to go the other way. But I promised you at the beginning of the show before we hopped on air that I had a stat for you on the Giants and Daniel Jones.
Is it going to be Daniel Jones Road? Daniel Jones Road, Daniel Jones?
Oh, yeah. But do you have it? Like I was going to give it to you if you didn't.
I don't have it in front of me, but okay. I have written down here road Daniel Jones because in the past you bet Daniel Jones on the road and you don't at home.
Yep. So Daniel Jones on the road, it has been great. He's 11-4 against the spread, 73%. Like you said, the record at home is pretty much the opposite. But here's the crazy thing: Daniel Jones on the road catching 7.5 or less. So when they're a smaller road favorite by, about a touchdown or less, 9-0 against the spread, has never failed to cover in 9 tries. So
wow, that's a diamond, and that's a diamond there.
That's right. That's right in there. I'm in mid-season form with some of these trends. Just kind of going through. Always like to see like some of these bad quarterbacks and like what situations it has kind of worked fading them and playing them, and it's just. Yeah, it's one of the craziest ones I've ever seen. I mean, it's still, it's still a relatively small sample, but you're talking about 9 games, a bunch of different, a couple of different coaches and schemes. And it's just one of those quarterbacks that he's never going to like wow you, but he kind of keep you there, keep you in the game. At least on the road they do. So I would love the Giants this week. I think that is that would have been one of the ones I would have took actually if you hadn't.
Yeah, and by the way, again, catching 5.5, 6 totals for around 43. Even more valuable. It's than if the total was say 53 with the Cardinals Chiefs, which we'll get to later.